So, Cambodia, the kingdom of wonder, the land of Angkor Wat. Now I wonder, what is this country like for foreigners? Do they like it here? Do they hate it here? Well, let's find out today by me interviewing some foreigners here in Cambodia.
Hi guys. Okay, we have a really special guest. I don't know if all of you remember him, but here he is.
Hello, hello.
So please introduce yourself. What is your name?
Okay, sure. Hi, my name is Donald, and I used to teach in Cambodia.
So, would you mind introducing yourself? What's your name?
Celine Kewen.
I see.
And what is your name?
My name is Sophie Brown.
Okay, so we have here is Jack Atkinson,
It's me.
English teacher. Surely you know him.
I've been around.
Yeah, local Boltman as well. Okay, so tell us, where are you from?
I live in Tulkhog.
Where are you really from?
Well, Tulsan Kai.
So where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand.
I'm from Cape Town, South Africa.
My country, Colombia.
Boltman, where are you from?
I'm from London. I'm from southeast London.
I see.
A little place called, just outside of Greenwich. You know where Greenwich Mean Time is measured from? I lived about 2 or 3 miles down the road from there.
So tell us, how long have you been here in Cambodia for?
About 12 years. 12 long, excruciating, painful years.
How long have you been here?
Just over a year, arrived end of March last year.
A year and a half, I think. A year and a half.
So what occupation do you have?
I'm a teacher. You already know that.
All of our interviewees are teacher.
What occupation do you do?
I'm a teacher. I'm a primary school teacher in New Zealand as well.
I'm your teacher. You know what my current occupation
I'm
is.
required to ask you.
I teach and run coffee shops and write books and ride motorbikes and shout at my children.
So moving on.
Moving on.
How many other countries have you been to?
Oh, I don't know, lots. Just riding here, I drove through 23 countries. So probably about 30, 35 countries, something like that.
Mainly Europe or Asia?
Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. And I've never been to Africa or America.
How many other countries have you been to?
I don't know the exact number, but in the 20s, 30 maybe, somewhere around there.
So how many other countries have you been to?
I've been to Thailand, England, and France. That's about it. Oh, and Cambodia, obviously.
I have been to my country, Colombia, Peru, Spain, France, Belgium, South Korea, China, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Singapore, Qatar, the US, here, and there may be another one that I may not recall right now.
So tell us, why did you decide to come to Cambodia of all places?
I didn't.
So how did you end up here?
Well, I like a lot of expats in this country, I started out with the intention of living in Thailand. And the reason I did that is because I met a girl in London from Thailand, and we got together, and she had to go home. Her visa expired after a year, and I was pretty sick of London. I said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna finally leave." Was to leave, and I thought, well, screw this. I'm not gonna go out and come back in again. I'm just gonna go and give Cambodia a try. I've been here ever since. So.
Why do you choose to come to this country?
A couple of different reasons. I knew I wanted to come to Southeast Asia. In New Zealand, I taught a lot of Cambodian students at my school, and I really liked them, so they were part of the inspiration, and I love Southeast Asia.
Well, I chose to come to Cambodia, to explore the country, gain teaching experience, and yes, enjoy your culture.
You choose to come to this country?
That's quite a big question. One of the reasons is I did want to work in Asia, and I feel like Cambodia has like the best working hours for teachers.
So how does this country compare to the other countries you've been to and your home country?
It's way too hot. Way too hot. Compared to my home country, I think some things are really similar. How do I say this in a way? South Africa has like chaos, but everything works well.
Country compared to those countries and your home countries. Taiwan?
Very different culture to my own country. Being a Western country, there's, yeah, people act quite different. I think here is a lot more community based, which I like. People are friendly in New Zealand, but here they're a bit more respectful and a bit more friendly, which I like as well.
People here are polite too, and the majority of people in the town where I live are friendly too. So I would say that they are friendly, but in a different environment.
Oh, I see.
It depends how you judge other countries. That England has changed even more since I left. I lived in Thailand about a year, and then I had to go back and release some money I had tied up in an account. And it was surprising how much things had changed, where I couldn't even afford to run a bus. I couldn't even afford to use the buses, and buying food was noticeably more expensive. In 1 year, it changed so much that I was surprised how expensive things had got. So I imagine it would be even worse now. The biggest problem with England is the economy. You've got to remember, England is a pretty small country that doesn't have any real natural resources. We make just enough to get by, and we import everything else. We survive.
Tell me, do you happen to have any memorable experience related to cultural misunderstanding here?
A cultural misunderstanding. Probably the only cultural misunderstanding that springs to mind. I know there are things like we point in England, but you don't point here. But Khmers kind of know that we do that, and no one takes offence at it. So I've never really had a problem with anything like that. Most people understand that we don't know all of your customs, and they don't take it too seriously. So I've never had a real problem. I've had a few problems with foreigners out here.
Cultural misunderstanding, a cultural misunderstanding. I don't think I've really had a major misunderstanding.
Well, yeah, sometimes giving you guys nicknames was something that some students did not some students misunderstood, because you guys normally get called by your name, or like the last letters of your name.
Do you often attend the cultural events and traditions here with the locals?
No.
So
I attended my wedding, if that counts.
Yes, the New Year there, for example, and all the activities that were held in when in the school, when in the school, and the dances, the traditional dances, like the way how you guys dance.
Yeah, Khmer year, I remember last year, not this year. This year I didn't go anywhere, I just stayed in Phnom Penh. But last year I went to Siem Reap, and that was the most fun I've ever had. I think it's one of the things that I'll remember for a very long time. I just love how free it is, and everyone's just having a good time, and people of different ages just come together.
So, as a person of color, have you felt that living here people has discriminated you in any way, or you have any unfair advantages because you're a person of color?
Advantages, no, definitely not. Not myself personally, but even other people of color, specifically my race from South Africa, have had issues with schools literally telling them they don't want to hire someone of our race because the parents would prefer their child to be taught by a white person. I've also had students call me the N-word.
Do you ever get homesickness? Do you ever miss your
Sometimes I get homesick. Yes, sometimes I get homesick everywhere, because family is essential. And you can know people, but they will never replace your relatives. So
Tell us, have you ever experienced homesickness? If yes, how did you cope with it?
All the time. I think the worst homesickness I had was actually when I first got here. I'm not an emotional person. I don't think you guys ever saw me cry. I don't cry. I'm not that type of person. But the first month I got here was extremely difficult for me. I was 25 when I came here, and it was the first time I'd ever traveled overseas by myself, so it was terrifying coming here. And even though I met people through that AVSE course, like, I was still alone. I didn't really have friends at that point, so I felt so homesick.
Being here.
Yes.
Have you ever felt homesickness? If yes, how did you cope with it?
Not really. It is getting worse, I will say. England is getting worse, which means it's in the news more often, and I see these things and think, this is horrible. My roots are being destroyed, they're being trampled, and that's making me feel a little bit more nostalgic. A part of me would still like to be back in England fighting for my country. We're at war, but that's not going to be an option. So mostly I don't miss the place. I miss some of my friends and family. Sometimes I miss them, I talk to them online, but it's not the same. So yeah, that's the only time I get homesick. We chat online. My parents are now too old for doing that. My dad was a computer engineer as a career for quite a long time, and now he can't read emails. He's losing his mind slowly. He's very old. He's also got Parkinson's disease, so he can't really read emails anymore. So I started my vlog channel so that they can look in and see what we're up to. And sometimes I'll send him a personal one as well, because he can watch a YouTube video. He can't really check emails anymore, but he can follow a link. So my brother sends them the link, they click it and they just watch it in the house. So that's why I set up the Edge Cafe channel, so that my family back home can see what we're up to. In a way that's not completely boring. When I send my dad a personal video, it's just me talking to a camera for an hour, and that's dull. So it's a better way of communicating back home. So I miss my friends, family, but not that much. It's been a long time. You move on.
It's almost 5 p.m. and I've been at Jax's house since 9 a.m. Oh, and here's Jax's kid. His name's Jane. Small guy. So, in conclusion to our video about foreigners in Cambodia, some like it, some do not, and if you're a person of color, you might be discriminated against, like teacher Celine and stuff. And the economy here is way more laid back, so it's easier to find job, raise a kid, compared to places like, well, England. And the language barrier may be hard, but I guess you can almost get by just like using the universal, like, I don't know, pointing at stuff, etc. So yeah. Sometimes So what I meant to say was that if you live in a more sophisticated part of the city, you'll have an easier time dealing with the language barrier, because a lot of people there might be able to understand English to a certain degree, especially if you work at a school. So some foreigners don't feel the need to or don't want to learn the Khmer language. For most foreigners, the most valuable connections and relationship that they've built is usually mainly a marriage partner. I also heard it's cheaper and easier to get a wife here than in England. And the food options here aren't that great for foreigners who are vegans and vegetarians, so sucks for them. And lastly, a lot of problems for foreigners here is mainly the lack of enforcement for traffic law, which scares them since they come from a place where traffic laws are heavily enforced for safety reasons. Okay, bonus question. What is your opinion on Jack Atkinson? Don't be afraid to speak your mind.
He's sarcastic. I think it's great, and you deserve the sarcasm.
Bonus question. What's your opinion on teacher Jack?
My opinion on teacher Jack. I think he is a very friendly person. He talks way too much. I think we all know that. He overall tries hard for his students and wants you guys to do well, and I can see that. Loves his family, but I think the talking's probably the biggest thing. You know, you can't really get a word in elsewhere.
What's your opinion on him? He's good. He's great. He's great.
I see.
Based on the based on my interactions with him and everything I know about him, he's great. Yes, he's excellent. Yeah.
Do you have any special friendships or connection that you form while you're here?
Too far, too far. Thank you, darling. So, you want it? Oh, I'm up. I'm filming. Babe, I'm filming, darling. Is it important?
The thing you want one or two?
Two.
Two piece.
2 pieces.
So $70.
Yes.
You check on your WhatsApp to confirm me the item is correct or not.
Hang on.
Oh, your wife's here.
Oh no! Oh no! He likes my tea.
I hope I did okay.
It's just me pouring
I'm
the
really
tea.
awkward in front of the camera.
No, you're almost out of time. It's going.
God damn. No, my saber. My lightsaber.
Oh no! You brought Yoda.
James, I will drop kick you.
Okay, I actually need to use the toilet, so I've drank way too much tea. Yeah, let's go to the toilet with me.
No. Dude, you are not well. Oh, I forgot to press record.
I'm lying.